recording this?
Yeah. Where in the world did my pencil go? Bailey. There it is. Okay. So, I have to do an interview about how the media has changed, especially recently.
Okay.
Or in the 2000s.
Okay.
Okay. And where I'm going to, so the whole assignment is conducting my answers with students everywhere. Okay, this part doesn't make sense. As to how the media has changed in the past 200 years. Nobody's alive, so I don't know who they're interviewing, but that's their problem, I guess.
Okay.
So, did you ever listen to records?
Yes.
Who'd you listen to?
Are you talking about like when I was a kid or in the 2000s or ever?
Ever.
Well, when I was a kid, I listened to like Disney records. And I remember a lot of educational records. And then when I got older, I listened to like musicals on records and Christmas records at Christmas time. And then I think like when I got into probably high school, it kind of turned to cassette tapes. So it's been a while until we got this thing a couple years ago. I didn't listen to records for a long time.
You use it still?
Mm-hmm.
How often?
Personally, maybe just a few times a year. I think Denver uses it the most. Her and Tommy.
Is there a certain one that they play a lot?
Jazz music.
Charles.
And then when I do use it, I listen to albums from the 80s.
Any specific one? Or just whatever sounds good at the time?
Yeah, whatever I feel like. Yeah.
When you were growing up, was there any music that you weren't allowed to listen to?
No, I don't think so.
Were you allowed to play music whenever you wanted to around the house?
Mm-hmm.
No boundaries or like limits?
No, my mom always had the radio on, either talk radio or music. So no, I could listen to whatever I wanted whenever I wanted.
Where do you buy the records?
Gosh, I haven't bought a record in probably 20 years. So if I were to buy one now, I'd probably, I don't know, I'd probably go to a music store. They don't even exist anymore.
Where would you used to buy them?
At music stores. Yeah, they had actual stores that sold just rows and rows and rows of albums.
Was that in California?
Mm-hmm.
How did you find out about the artists that you listened to when you were growing up?
The radio and word of mouth from friends, what they were listening to. And then when MTV came along, we learned about a lot of different bands from
MTV. What did your parents think about records and record players?
Oh, they loved them. My dad had hundreds and hundreds of the 45s. And to this day, and we still have them. My mom had a really big record collection. And so they were big, both of them big music fans.
You guys listen to like a lot of music now, or music from musicals now. Is that how you grew up? Like listening to musicals and
musicals and just listening to, because when we'd take like road trips, we would listen to the radio in the car, and my dad would always play like 50s music, Elvis Presley and Buddy Holly. And then my mom she liked the 50s music, but I think she liked more the 60s artists, like, I don't even know who I can think of right now. So musicals, my mom was always, Jesus Christ Superstar, we listened to it all the time. Sound of Music was like a yearly thing, we watch that every year. Wizard of Oz, we watch that every year.
That's awesome. Does your mom still do that?
Mm-hmm.
That's cute. What kinds of programs did you listen to growing up? Like entertainment? Was it more music based or
on
was
the radio?
Like talk shows or?
Me personally, it was just music. I didn't listen to any talk radio unless it was, I'm in the car with my dad.
He listened to talk radio?
Oh yeah, he listened to a lot of talk radio. He would go between like sports talk and then just like news talk. But then when we would go on road trips, we would listen to songs and stuff. Different. We would listen to there was a show called Mystery Theater. Hi. And it was a radio program, but it was like listening to a movie, so they would have different actors playing the different roles, and it was a mystery, and you would have to listen to the whole story and try and figure out, who did it in the end. And we would, at nighttime when we were on a road trip, we would listen. I think it was called Mystery Theater.
That's really cool.
Hi.
That's like, what's it called? Oh, my mom listens to it. The podcast, Crime Junkies.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But they would have, like sound effects and the people walking in and the doors opening and closing and the dun dun and all that. Yeah, it was like a big production.
Oh, that's really
those
cool.
Were fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. How old were you? Would you say when you guys?
Gosh, probably from the time I can remember. So 4 or 5 up until. Let's see, the family road trips probably. We always would take occasionally when we were older, but we probably stopped those like every summer road trips. Probably when I was like 10 or so, 10 or 12 maybe.
You guys went like, was that like a multiple times a year up until? Like,
no, we would do one time like in the summertime. Yeah, probably like a week-long trip.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, kind of like that one that you guys did down like the coast a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. Do you remember anything about radio commercials?
Not really. Nothing specific. No.
Do you remember educational radio programs?
Educational radio. No. Not that I listened to.
When did FM radio come available? You know when that was?
I don't know, but it's always been around as long as I'm alive, so at least, the 60s, I would think.
Okay, for TV,
Mm-hmm.
how old are you when you started watching TV?
Mm-hmm. Probably 4 or 5. You know, I can't remember watching TV when I was that young, but you know, having older siblings, I'm sure I would watch TV with them.
Yeah.
I remember when we were younger, my little sister and I, my parents, you know, we'd have to go to bed. My parents would watch TV, and we would sneak out of our rooms and hide behind the couch and like peek out and try and watch what they were watching. And I was probably 8 or 9 when we did that.
That's funny. I didn't bring my hair. What would your older siblings watch that you like felt the most interested in?
We watch like Saturday morning cartoons, and then like Sunday evenings or Sunday nights were for like Disney. There was a Disney show that would come on every week. And then I remember watching like the Mickey Mouse Club and Little House on the Prairie. We watched that a lot.
Wasn't that a series?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you watch
Were
the
you
older
on?
series? Oh yeah,
Mhm.
my mom talks about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Partridge Family. All
Oh
those.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was some good. TV in the 70s was good.
Which would be your favorite? Like if you could go back and watch it now, what would you?
I always loved the Little House on the Prairie series. I would watch that again.
Did you read the books?
I did. Mm-hmm.
What was her name?
Laura.
Ilse Roberts.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you remember any quiz show scandals?
TV show Scandals.
The quiz show.
Oh, quiz show. I think there was one about The Price is Right, but I only know about that because I watched it recently, like in the last year or so. And they ended up having like to change the whole way how they do The Price is Right because a guy figured out how to beat the system and how to win all the prizes. So I don't totally understand it, but I don't think I was aware of it when it happened. I think that was in the 80s, maybe. I don't know, but I don't know. But other than that, I don't really
That was
have
the
any memories of.
Price is Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Imagine like doing a quiz show and this guy
Yeah.
comes in and wins everything. You're like,
Because
how do you know how to do that?
he was able to guess the dollar amount. It was all about money, and so you had to guess the dollar amount of prizes, and he had figured out how to outbid other people, and like he knew the cost of things. So I don't know how it worked out, but.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the long 60-second commercials going to 30-second commercials?
Mm-mm.
When was that? I feel like my mom was just talking about that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't have a memory of them being that long or noticing that they changed. Mm-mm.
Did you pay attention to the commercials when you were little?
Not really. I don't think I did.
Did you do the okay, I have this amount of time to like go get this?
Sometimes
this.
go get something to drink or go to the bathroom. Yeah. I
Like
remember
beating
doing
the
that.
clock.
And of course there were some commercials that caught your ear because they catch you on like the bologna commercials, the Oscar Mayer.
Oh yeah.
And then during Christmas time, the Toys R Us would have their big, toy commercials and stuff. But I never liked commercials. I didn't really pay attention to them.
What about infomercials?
I hate them.
How come?
Because if I want to know about something, I mean, there are. I guess I shouldn't say I hate them because there are some things like the Billy Blank. I don't know if you know. He's the guy that does he does the kickboxing. When he first came out, like I watched it all the time because I was really interested in it, and I ended up purchasing like his system or following him, whatever. But most of the time, I just think I don't like to shop. I don't like to watch commercials just to buy things.
Yeah.
Like I don't like commercials anyway, and then to sit there and watch an hour-long commercial, or a 30-minute commercial.
Yeah, what were they called? I remember looking at like the TV guide and like seeing, and it would be like, you know, the strips, and it would like take up the whole thing, and it was like jewelry or something.
Yeah,
Like,
jewelry
why
or
would you
clothes.
wanna,
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to just sit there and shop on the TV.
Yeah. Boring.
What were your thoughts when like Netflix and Hulu started coming out? Like, did you like that because, well, I guess Hulu still has commercials, but Netflix and on demand and stuff, and you didn't have to watch them.
I liked it. Being able to fast forward through the commercials, like, you know, when you record it and watch it later.
Mhm.
I did like that. And I love Netflix because it doesn't have commercials. Even Hulu, like, it's like what? 30, like maybe 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Maybe a minute of commercials, and even that I'm like, stop it. Like, I don't.
A minute and a half.
Yeah.
I'm done. Especially when sometimes they're like 10 minutes spaced apart, and then all of a sudden you get like 4 back to back, and you're like, what is this?
You get one at the very end of the episode,
Yeah, that's.
and then
Yeah.
it's like at the credits.
Yeah. Like, you mean you sit through that? And like, even
And you
like
can't even skip
And
through
then the
it.
one at the
Mhm.
beginning of the next episode.
Super Bowl commercials, like, I don't get people being so excited about watching Super Bowl
Yeah,
commercials.
I don't.
Like, I don't. understand
Sometimes
that.
they're funny, but I have to be like paying attention and like zone
Mhm.
into it. Can't recall like any time where something's like caught my attention where I'm doing something totally different. I'm like, that was funny,
Right.
or I liked that. Like I can't think of any time ever.
Mm-mm. And like, I don't watch the Super Bowl to watch the commercials.
Yeah.
I don't understand spending millions of dollars to produce things. I don't get it. So
Or like the people at the game, they don't see them. How did you decide to get cable or satellite TV, or have you ever?
Well, we got satellite. Well, we got cable mostly for sports, and then when we had kids, it was so we could have more kids shows to watch. And then we did have a satellite. Come on. But we only had satellite for maybe a year, and we just realized it was just too many channels. Like, we didn't need that many channels.
What is the difference between cable and satellite?
With the satellite, you actually get a signal from like satellite, and you can get like East Coast channels. So if you wanted to, some shows don't start till 10 here, you could watch at 7 because you could watch the East Coast feed.
That's cool. So when there's like new episodes or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I think they just offer, hundreds more channels than cable.
Is it more expensive, or was there just too many?
I think it is a little more expensive.
Bless you.
And plus, it's the satellite, so, like, if it rained or we got a lot of snow, sometimes that would interfere with the signal. But we haven't had satellite or cable in, like, 4 years. We've just been streaming or antenna. At least that long, huh? Probably. We haven't had cable in a long time.
That was what, her sophomore year? Delaney's sophomore year?
3 years ago, I was a senior, so that gives you any time reference.
Oh, so,
So her junior
4
year?
years ago. 4 years ago would have been her
Sophomore, junior.
her sophomore year.
So do you remember having cable when you were in high school?
What do you mean?
You know, like where it had the menu and you could scroll through.
I didn't
and,
watch TV much.
you know,
Yeah,
Here.
because you guys used to watch Modern Family off the recordings, didn't you? Do you remember having?
A
Mhm.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Were you in high school? Like we were trying to remember when we stopped paying for cable.
Recordings. We didn't have like VC, like DVR for a long time.
We stopped cable. I think Denver was in high school. I was middle school.
Yeah.
I
So,
don't know. Maybe I was a freshman because I remember talking about it. I'm gonna pay one more.
Like not having
oh, so
like not
maybe it's
having
like
Comcast.
maybe it's like 6 or 7 years now.
Oh my.
And people are like, yeah, cable.
Because we went from that and
Yeah,
then we had the
okay.
dish.
Yeah, but not very long.
Yeah, but I know it's been a really long time since we've had like on demand.
Mm-hmm.
Early middle school, but that's when we got rid of Comcast, not, and then we had something else. I cannot tell you what it looked like though.
Yeah, I can't remember either. So it's been a while. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I feel like Netflix is still like fairly new. Like even in my eyes.
Yeah.
Well, I remember also when Netflix was
DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
putting it on a list because I remember there was one specific movie I always wanted and it always got pushed down.
Mhm.
Whenever I get to the top of the list, Mom and Dad's was above it. But now it's on Netflix.
Nice pick up. Yeah, and that was when
Putting it on the list is enough.
we get one at a time, and then we're like, okay, we'll splurge and we'll get 2 at a time. So the kids can get
Yeah.
one, and then we can get one. And then it got to the point where we just didn't need to
Yeah,
get the DVDs anymore because there were so many other options.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Or Redbox.
Mm-hmm.
did
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think I did
Never did
Redbox. I
Redbox.
think I did it done it once. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've only done it if we're out of town,
Mm-hmm.
with like I'm visiting somewhere with someone else's family.
We used to do it all the time. We used to do it like every weekend. And then we moved in with Lane.
Well, and then even before that was Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And you every Friday or Saturday
Friday.
go to Blockbuster and we wander around and try and find one we hadn't seen before or one had
One
just
we
come
liked.
out or.
Pick a candy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the candy like and popcorn deals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And
There
now I
used
think there's only one Blockbuster left. I
it's
think
an Oregon. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
There used to be the one on Pack Highway in Des Moines. That's the one we used
There
to
was
go to.
one right down by Albertsons.
Oh really?
Oh, is that Blockbuster? Or no, there was a Blockbuster up here.
It was Hops and Drops.
Yeah. It was up here.
It was Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Hops and Drops used to be?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
That's where we got our Wii from.
Mm-hmm.
Dad said he fixed it too.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, he texted me and was like, I'm messing with the Wii. What did you say was wrong with it? And I said, we couldn't turn it on. He was like, oh, it's on.
Oh, funny. Maybe we just needed a break. Where is it?
With my just a little.
Are you gonna take it back?
Yeah.
What else was there? So Blockbuster, Redbox, Netflix.
I'm trying to think of the other one. That was down there by Safeway, or not Safeway, Albertsons.
It is Safeway now.
It is. The one right down at the bottom of the hill.
Albertsons
Is
is
that Safeway?
Yeah. Now it is.
I didn't know that. Did you know
I
that?
go over there now. I was literally there.
You
like
probably
2 days
even
ago.
no, even when you do go down, you probably don't look at it because you
No,
assume it's
it's drive
Albertsons.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Today, I was with Ben and Tommy, and Ben was like Safeway, and I was like, what's
Wow, crazy. Did you know that?
What the heck? We go down there all the time too because that's Rio Blanco's Chris's
Oh.
favorite restaurant. What the heck?
That's funny.
It's just the sign change, really. That's all.
That's crazy.
Not much else.
But there was another. I want to say like Video Express.
Video
or something
only.
Like that. Video only.
They still
Yeah.
have that,
Mm-hmm.
I think. There's one next to Home Depot by Costco.
Oh yeah. In Federal Way.
With the rainbows.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
when you were growing up, was there any movies or films that your parents forbid you from seeing?
Yes. My mom one time rented. So there's two movies. There's The Jazz Singer, and All That Jazz. I think.
The jazz movies.
The Jazz Singer is about Neil Diamond, I think, and All That Jazz is not about Neil Diamond. And she thought she was getting The Jazz Singer, and got All That Jazz. And at the time, it was very, for what I think was very, there was a lot of sex and smoking and drinking and all that jazz. And so when she realized that she made a mistake, she's like, "This is not the movie I thought it was. I don't want you to watch it. Promise me you won't watch it." Because she worked and I was at home, kids were at home. I think I was probably in my 30s before I watched All That Jazz because my mom asked me not to watch it.
You have kids and you're like, okay, I'm gonna
Maybe
watch
I can
it.
see what this movie's all about, but yeah. So I remember that specific one. I remember her asking me not to watch it. But other than that, I can't think of anything that.
Or is like certain types of movies, or like were you guys allowed to watch horror movies?
I think we probably would have been if we had wanted to, but I didn't. Mike saw Jaws when it came out. He was like 6. Like I wouldn't have gone to see Jaws. I wouldn't have wanted to go see Jaws.
Yeah. What the heck?
But like we watched Grease, which now I'm like, oh my god, like that movie.
Yeah,
There's
Because you don't know when you're a kid.
no, you don't know. There's a lot of sexual innuendo, but it's just like the songs are so happy and
yeah.
It's so much fun. But if you're a kid, you don't know what those songs mean.
Yeah.
And so now we were like, "Mom, I can't believe you let us watch that." She's like, "You didn't know. You just..." Even my dad even said, "I can't believe you let nice children watch that movie." She's like, "They don't know what it means. They're just having fun listening to the songs." And she was absolutely right. So
They're not asking questions. I'm not answering them.
no, we didn't know what teen sex was or, missing your period, what that meant. Like we were just like, "Oh no, whatever."
Mom, she missed her period.
Uh-huh.
Can you believe that?
No. Yeah.
Did you guys watch Grease with all your siblings and your parents? Was it a movie you guys all watched as a family, or was it a movie your mom watched?
I think it was a movie my mom and my sisters and I watched. I don't remember my brothers really being fans of those kinds of movies.
Was there any movies that you forbid the girls from watching, or types of shows?
Naked Brothers Band and Ed, Ed and Eddie.
I
Oh,
forbid
we're
you.
all the
We
time.
weren't really, she didn't want us to watch.
The Winnie.
the
We watched that all the time.
She didn't want us to
Denver.
watch those,
She didn't want
Cartoon
us
Network
to.
shows.
I didn't know we weren't allowed to. I watched both of those all the time.
She did not want us to.
I didn't. Why?
I don't know.
Dad, Family Guy. Whenever I would walk in the room and Dad was watching, he'd pause it.
Yeah, because that one's an
Yeah.
adult cartoon.
Adult cartoons.
But I don't know why I wouldn't let you watch. Maybe because I just didn't like them and I didn't
Maybe.
want them on because I didn't like them.
Yeah.
But I can't remember thinking,
I sit here.
No, it's my turn.
I don't want you watching the show because, it teaches bad morals or anything like that.
Dance Moms. She didn't like me watching
No, I
Dance
did not
Moms.
like Dance Moms.
That's what
Or
I
any
watch
of
all the
those.
time.
But I don't
TLC
think
shows.
I don't think I forbid you from watching it.
No, but every time I was watching it and you'd come in the room.
Ugh. Oh, I
I
hated
can't believe you watch these
I
shows.
hated it.
Turns on Real Housewives. The hypocrisy.
Right, but my brain is 40 years old. Yours was only 10
Right,
years
but
old.
I was able to make the connection. How come I can't watch this? She thinks it's a bad influence on me
Because
to watch
my-
these toddlers and tiaras.
My
On this tiaras, but she's watching the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Why?
Weird.
Why?
yeah, I just and that Dance Moms, they were just. I think because the kids were involved, that's why I didn't like it. The Housewives shows, it was the grown-ups being stupid. The
The kids are
tiaras
being
and
stupid.
toddlers
Yeah.
was the kids, and moms being
Yeah, it's
gross around
different.
their kids.
Just because you don't want to support the show, yeah.
Yeah. And those kids being forced into that, that's why I didn't like it.
What shows would you say influenced you the most and why? Or were there any?
That influenced me.
What?
I don't know.
Or
I,
movies, I guess.
I do. One movie that had a really big impact was Rocky. Because the year it came out, my dad was the coach of my brother's little league baseball team, and I was the back row. And the team went to like the world, whatever the finals for their league. The night before the big game, my dad and the other coaches took the whole team to see Rocky, and I got to go because I was back row. And so the team watched Rocky,
managers.
and the dun 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 dun, and him being victorious, and
When he makes it to the top.
and it was in the movie theater, so it's loud, and no one had seen it before, so it was just and the kids like the next day they went and won the championship, and I'll never forget that. And I was probably, when I was a back row, I was probably 7 or 8.
When I was a back girl, I was the back girl.
I was the back row.
I was the back
And
girl.
I had I wore like the uniform, like the baseball pants. I had the hat. I think I wore a sweatshirt. I don't think I wore a jersey.
I can imagine Peyton.
But yeah, running out, grabbing the bat, and running it back. Mm-hmm.
Going to a movie with all the big kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, she gets to the top.
Oh.
Rocky's getting to the top. You just see these little arms, and Judy's like.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Or
cheering-
they won the next day.
Everyone's
This
cheering
little
on the baseball players, and
arm.
she's like, she's like, yeah,
My
I got
name
the
is
best
on the
guys.
board with all the players' names. So
That's
I mean,
cute.
Because your dad was the coach.
Yeah.
So because Rocky was like that influential movie to you, did you watch all the rest of them?
I did. I didn't enjoy them as much. Yeah, and then the other one would be Jesus Christ Superstar.
Don't turn down that.
That was one that me and my mom and my sisters watched every year. We saw it in the theater when it came out, and then we watched it when it came on TV. And I remember I would hide behind my mom when they were, giving him the lashes, but every other part of the movie I watched every minute of it.
And sing duets.
And sing, yeah. And then, if we weren't watching it, my sister and I, that was an album we had. And my sister and I would play the album, and we would set it up in front of the record player. And we would act out
Yeah.
every scene, and we would take turns being the girl and being the boy, and so singing the boy and girl parts. Oh my god, we would do
So
that for
cute.
hours.
So I did that, but with Camp Rock.
Yeah.
And Megan and Mia.
Yeah.
Did you do that like for fun, or did you do it as like a show for your parents?
No, just for fun.
We've been on a lot of
Ask us
shows.
if we did shows.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
We did
We
shows
have not even seen them.
as cousins.
Yeah.
Everyone did.
We didn't
skits.
just do shows. We did production.
Yeah, they were productive.
There's
Thanks to William.
I know.
there's
The director.
yeah, I was just
Okay.
gonna say there's one that we watched, and I think William's in it.
High School
Wasn't he?
Musical.
We were watching the home videos, but we watched the adult skits. I don't think we watched ours.
Oh yeah, we did.
We
We
did.
watched the.
Three Little Bears, Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
What was the
Jake
one
and
where? I don't know. I can't think right now.
I don't remember watching one with you, but the one I remember watching with you was Dad was like the athlete, and Victoria was the secret news
Oh,
reporter,
yeah.
and then Lala was the therapist, and then Papa was like, "How are we supposed to know? How are we supposed to know what that is? That doesn't make any sense." And then you had to explain it. I think after they were like, "And it's scene," and we were all like, "Yeah," and then you explained it, and then that's when Papa was like, "That's so stupid."
No, he would not say stupid, would he?
I don't know.
You guys did one right here, in one of the
Hairspray.
videos.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a recording.
Christmas.
You guys recorded over it,
Oh,
and it's
I
just
didn't
like a
see
bunch
that
of
one.
like
That's
random.
Hairspray.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
Here.
random
Is she
videos of like soccer or something, and then
We
just
recorded
cuts
ourselves.
scene of you guys like playing something out, and you were like said something like, "Delaney, that's your part."
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
We did
a lot of
interviews.
us, and we did a lot of with Kayla, with Haley and
Kayla.
Kayla, okay, and
The
Emily.
boy.
Carson.
was in
We
it.
interviewed Carson.
He was like
Carson
sitting
Brown?
right here.
No, Willinger.
Oh.
He wanted to be a pilot.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Did we send it to them?
How do you
I
spell
think
your
they
name?
wrote that.
Like, I'm sitting on the chair, I'm like, what's your name? He's like, Carson. And I'm like, how do you spell it?
We should watch that. I don't think I've seen that one.
It's funny.
Can you spell it?
And then it cuts to him sitting on the chair, and you can't see anybody, but you can hear you guys
Like, zoomed
talking.
in on him.
Yeah, he's just like
What do
sitting
you
there
want to
like
be when you grow
this.
up?
That's funny.
A pilot. He like had something in his hands. I don't know what it was. I had a purse though. Okay. Of course.
Sparkly. And a dog. We loved those dogs.
How much did your family's first TV cost?
Oh gosh,
If you were to guess.
I have no clue. I couldn't even pretend to make a guess.
What about the one you first bought?
The first one we bought,
Yeah.
it was probably $200 or $300. I would think.
My mom walked into Weston's room today, and she goes, Bailey, where's the TV that's in here? And I'm like, it's in there. And she's like, no, it's not. And I walked in there, and the TV that's been there for like 9 months is not in there anymore. And nobody knows where it went. Like, the whole TV is gone.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm so confused. None of us know where it went. Like, how does a TV just disappear?
Well, it doesn't. So somebody took it, and I'm thinking maybe Wayne.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna ask him, but I'm like,
So not nobody knows, but you just haven't asked everyone.
Yeah.
no, my mom, I mean, I can't think of it. Wayne doesn't usually like to go in that room. I'll stop this.